Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Two Bros Talking. I'm Brother Bern. I got my brother Ben over here. Yeah, Brother Ben on the phone. And we just gonna get into a couple topics. So, first thing we're gonna talk about right now is the whole Kwame Brown thing and everything that's going on with him. Like, I don't want to talk about what's going on with his current beef with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. You know, you gotta let them two hash that out. That's their business. And we ain't gonna get into that. But I want to talk more or less about the origins of the whole bust thing, man. How we let the media lead us into thinking that dude couldn't hoop. And it's like, you know, you look back, I'm looking at a lot of clips lately and just trying to think, it's like, dude wasn't even that bad. What you think?
And it's more about, like you said, media manipulation, and this is not talked about enough, in my opinion. All of the know-it-alls, they refuse to hold these GMs and these scouts more accountable for a lot of these draft picks. You draft a dude out of high school, and you drafting him on the idea of his potential.
Exactly.
But you said his potential is in your imagination.
Right.
At that particular point, you like, well, yeah, this is what he could be. Well, what if he peaked in high school? That was a decision you made. So before we start calling players busts, let's start looking at these scouts who just project a future on some of these 18-year-olds before they even proved anything.
Well, see, this is the thing. Like yesterday, I saw a video on YouTube, Basketball News, and it had real good video, and they were talking about the origins of that. And like when he first came into the league and when he was a rookie, you know, it was E'Twaun Moore, Jahadi White, Chris Whitney, Tyrone Nesby. All these cats played for the Wizards back when Kwame Brown got drafted. And, you know, they were making a lot of good points. E'Twaun Moore kept saying that throughout the course of that draft period, he was the best player in the draft. He said that the Wizards had all the big men in there. They had Tyson Chandler. They had Eddie Curry. They had all them dudes in there, and Kwame Brown was killing them. So it's like they made an educated pick. The problem
he was the best among that group.
Yeah, he was the best among that group. But see, as they started to go deeper, more and more got unfolded. Because then here come Jordan, and the Wizards hired Doug Collins, and this is what the players were saying. This ain't me making up nothing. This is what the players were saying. The players were saying, Collins came in there to make Michael Jordan look good, and they were going to do everything that they could not to make him look bad. Because remember, that Washington team was around 500. They were struggling, trying to make the playoffs, and I think that the Wizards did not want to hang anything up on Mike. So we got the perfect scapegoat. We got this number one draft pick who going through the struggles of a rookie, let alone an 18-year-old in the NBA. He's not getting everything right. So we got the perfect scapegoat. Everything's blamed on him, and I think you take cats like Stephen A, who just ran with that. And like I said, Stephen A was not on ESPN when all this was going on. So it's like he exactly built his whole empire off the back of Kwame Brown, and that's just wrong.
Which is a shame, yeah, because and that's one of the tragedies. That's one of the tragedies of it all. Because realistically, Jordan was in his heyday. That Washington team wasn't going to compete for a championship realistically. So
yeah, they were a playoff. They were trying to make the playoffs.
Grooming Brown to be good, they kind of just stunted his growth and then hung him out to dry.
Yep. And then E'Twaun Moore, you know, they had a couple stories. Now, Jahadi White said that there were times where he saw Michael Jordan, you know, pull Kwame to the side and give him that leadership and that mentorship that a rookie needed. But he was like, then it was often times where, you know, he treated him pretty bad. But like I said, we all saw The Last Dance, and so we know how Michael Jordan was to some of his teammates. So that shouldn't come to a surprise as anybody. But it was Doug Collins who was like kind of going out of his way to destroy Kwame Brown's confidence and make him feel small. And it's like, man, it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Like you got, because it's like, think about The Last Dance. When Doug Collins was coach of Chicago, he let Jordan do whatever he want. Phil was the one that came in there and brought him structure. But Doug Collins was like, let's let him do whatever he want. And then you take him where he's trying to reestablish being the greatest of all time. And then you got this yes man in Doug Collins. Man, if he's trying to make him look good and they struggling, somebody got to look bad. And that was Kwame Brown.
Yeah, that's real. It had to be somebody. And it's unfortunate that it was the young high school player who, and then once you get stunted and stifled like that at a young age, there's no coming out of that. No. It's like you wonder why some of these players, they peak, and then they confidence either shoot up, they become the best version of who they were going to be, or they just stop growing. And it was like Kwame Brown, I can't even remember, because we've seen his whole career, seen him watch this thing in LA, and I keep confusing it in my brain. I keep seeing Jermaine O'Neal for some reason. I don't know why, but I just keep seeing Jermaine O'Neal with the braids in Indiana. I just don't know why, because I can't see him in that Laker uniform. And I think he started a couple years there.
Oh no, man!
So I looked at it. He wasn't like trash. It was just like y'all was expecting. Y'all saw something that maybe wasn't there in him. He was as good as he was gonna be.
I don't even see that. Like I looked this morning, I looked at a video on YouTube, and it was from 2007 playoffs, and it was the Lakers versus Suns. It was Game 3, and the Lakers had lost the first 2 games, and they put up a graphic, and it was like the year before in the playoffs again in the first round. I think it was against the Suns. Kwame Brown averaged like 12 points a game in that series. And then they was like the first 2 games the Lakers lost, and he was averaging about 5. Well, this game right here, he had playoff career highs, and I mean, he playing against Stoudemire, those Suns teams back in the 2000s that was always near the top, and I mean, he was getting buckets. The way he was moving, his quickness, like the dude was big, dude was strong, like he could hoop, he could play. Like I said, was he Shaquille O'Neal? No, he'll tell you that, but he was out there, making a difference in the middle. Yeah, I remember, man. At that time, the center was beginning to turn into that utility player. They didn't have a lot of dominant centers. And I mean, you look at it now, it's all these stretch bigs. But back then, it was just if you had somebody who could give you 8 to 10 points, 8 to 10 rebounds, you had a pretty good center, and that was him.
Yeah, in the post, exactly. Yeah, because there's no legit big man nowadays.
No, I mean,
like, what did you expect? Even you get a big man who can get you 10 points, 8 rebounds, or 8 points, 12 rebounds, something like that on a consistent basis. Shoot, I would rather have that than what you get out of some of these quote-unquote stretch bigs nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
As an example, back in the day, if I'm getting a guaranteed 8 to 10 rebounds from my center, 8 to 10 points from my center, I would much rather have that than to have my stretch 4 who from night to night he might hit 3 threes, 9 points, 6 rebounds because he's not under the basket. That's on a good night. On a bad night, 3 points, 4 rebounds from my center because you playing around on the perimeter trying to shoot threes.
Yeah, it's just the difference in it. Dude did his job, and like I said, and he did his job, and he played 12 years. So it's not like he came in and he was, after 5 years he was done. He played 10 years. He played for multiple teams. Like, that's ridiculous. And then one more thing Etuan Thomas, I'm sorry. One thing that he said that really was eye-opening was, it was like they used to work him out, Kwame Brown, by himself before games, like 2.5 hours before a game. You have him doing full sprints and, drenched in sweat, like hardcore workouts. And then 2-3 hours later, you play the game, you put him in the game, you expect him to play a high level. Like that makes
what kind of garbage?
Yeah,
is that?
like I mean, this is, and again, this is
So
what
he expends
this is
all
what
his energy, and then
he
you expect something from him.
he expend all his energy. Then you put him out there on the floor, and you expect him to play at a high level. And again, this isn't a reporter reporting. These were 4 former players saying that these are the things that took place. So I mean, you put him in a position to fail, and then because like you said earlier, no one ever said that these scouts and all these other things were wrong, because clearly he was the best player in the draft. He was the best big man in the draft. So to take the focus off of them, you just put him in a bad position, and then you just take advantage of how he playing. And Stephen A. Smith, who I think is just, he really dodging.
He the culprit.
He really dodging. Like, I don't know how he feel like, why he feel like he shouldn't have anything to say about what's going on right now. Like, I mean, like he said, that was your calling card. That's how you got on ESPN. That's how you got all that money.
It still is mispronouncing people's names on purpose and everything.
Right.
And not to don't trip, because I've been guilty of it myself.
No, and I mean, and
I don't have the platform, but I don't have the platform that he has.
See,
it's
that's
like, when you have that particular platform, you have a responsibility to the people who you're talking to, and to keep the facts and keep your opinions at least label one and the other. You start this off, yes, this is my particular opinion on the subject, not to be disrespectful, but this is my opinion versus these are the facts. And the facts are, Kwame, he was solid.
He was solid. He was a good big man. He was a decent big man in the NBA.
Just as an example, Michael Oliver Candy,
nobody talk about. Don't nobody talk about Michael Oliver Candy.
He got to the league. He immediately got injured, and then he only played for the Clippers, who drafted him. He got injured, and he was here one day, and then he was kind of gone the next. Greg Oden was the same way. It was like he got drafted, got hurt, and then he kind of just went away. I
mean, yeah, and like I said, it's a lot of dudes that get that don't nobody talk about. Like, it's a lot of dudes. I mean, like, hey, real talk. What about Joe Smith? How long did he played? Yeah, he played for 12 years. He had 16 years. Joe Smith played 16 years.
People was like, he's going to be better than what he actually was. But, it ain't his fault. He peaked. And he was consistent.
I mean, Bargnani was number 1. Anthony Bennett. That's the dude. That's the dude that I've been trying to think of. Anthony Bennett. Now, did he do anything?
I don't even know who
he got drafted by Cleveland. He got drafted by Cleveland, number 1.
That's the dude
in 2013.
You were talking about the other day.
Yeah, he got drafted in 2013.
He had a quick cup of coffee.
It looked like
It
looked like he played about 3-4 seasons, and then he went overseas and he played in the G League. Yeah, so I mean,
and that was them LeBron championship.
That was after
his Eastern Conference Finals runs.
I don't even think LeBron was there.
Was it with Kyrie was solo?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that was all Heat. That was he was with the Heat, because the year before that they drafted Kyrie number 1, and then next year they 2 years before that, in 2011 they drafted Kyrie number 1, and then in 2013 they drafted Anthony
something
Bennett.
Fantastic was going to become of that.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is nice. In 2013, Anthony Bennett. We talking what? 11, 12 years after Kwame Brown, but don't nobody say nothing about that dude. Like, come on, man, hey, that's rough. Yeah. And I get that he's the first one out of high school, but whatever, man.
Kwame did play some years, man. Stop it.
But all right, y'all, man, we got to wrap this thing up. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down there, man. We feel free to join the conversation. We love to talk to y'all, but that's all we got for y'all today. Look for us next Thursday. We're going to do another one. Keep talking about these playoffs and anything else that's going on in the sports world. So for right now, man, that's all we got. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace out.